So I took a long break from the Attack on Titan manga. I just recently had caught up with the anime, so I was like, it's time to jump into the manga. And I finally caught up to chapter 120, the latest chapter as of the recording of this video. And I gotta say that when it comes to this series right here, this one that is labeled a shonen, you know what? I got too much to say. Let's jump into it.
Whether Facebook, Twitter, or the two, make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like...
Yeah, that's right, people. I got a lot to say about this because I caught up with Attack on Titan. I want to say I was on like chapter 108 when I last reviewed it and left off 109, and I got all the way to 120. Now, you know, these are monthly chapters, so it did take me a little bit of time to read those chapters. Not too much, honestly, but boy, was I impressed. This series, even though it's labeled as like, yeah, it's for the shonen demographic, it's for younger kids, I don't see how, especially when we get to this Marley arc. Like, okay, earlier arcs, it did feel very shonen-esque, power-ups, the Titans, a lot of stuff like that, but between the graphic nature of how even darker it gets, how much more realistic, because it takes a lot more of a military type of setting, military story from the Marley stuff on, from when, you know, Eren is locked up for basically attacking Marley without orders, doing everything on his own. Of course, Sasha getting killed and stuff like that. There was a lot of dark shit that pretty much left us off in a very dark spot. Things got dark. I know I'm saying dark a lot, but screw it. And the way they played up the politics in this one, I wish Isayama was able to make the Kenny Ackerman arc, because Kenny Ackerman himself was cool, the way it ended was dope, but a lot of the political aspects of that arc kind of felt sluggish and stuff like that. And maybe reading this week to week, I might have felt that way. I really can't say one way or another, because there were parts where I was like, okay, you know, a lot of internal struggles. Once again, if I was to say anything, this takes the blueprint that the Kenny Ackerman arc, with all the politics and all the behind the scenes stuff, humans fighting humans in a sense, except it's more like now the Eldians versus Marley or whatever, but it takes that and kind of masters it. It took a poorly executed, in a way, again, like there was some good stuff about that arc, I'm not trying to shit on it, but it takes something that wasn't done to the best of its ability and really just took it to a whole other level. Let's start off with Eren's character and how much more dark he's gotten since all this went down. Now, of course, Eren got pretty freaking dark. He was willing to kill. He attacked the innocent people of Marley. He did it without asking the courts once again. He got jailed for it. And then he even gets darker. And I'm like, gosh darn. How much darker can this dude get? Because we see slowly but surely, Eren is now officially working with Zeke. Him and his brother, it turned into it started off with like, okay, you know, this beast titan, which I want to say from the time Zeke showed up to him and said, I'm going to rescue you one day, your father's brainwashed you, or something along the lines of that, it was like, okay, he had not a clear understanding of who this guy is and what's going on. As things went on, obviously it starts off in a major way once they start relinking, and once we start seeing what their plan was or whatever, that it's a brotherly bond in a way. Like Eren, to a certain degree anyway, up until chapter 120, which is spoilers galore, so don't get mad at me, fam. I'm telling you, I'm caught up. I'm gonna talk about it. But the euthanization plan that Eren played along with, which for a while they kind of kept us in the dark, like what is their ultimate goal, what are they trying to do? Eren played along for a long while, and the way he played, it was so well that it had me convinced for a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I was like, damn, you know, this is supposed to be a shonen, which is why I feel as though this should have been a seinen all the way. If this was a seinen, I don't even know how much more darker it would have been, and probably wouldn't have been as popular, but honestly, I really was convinced for a while, like, maybe Isayama is going to just completely make this, like, Eren it's a villain in a way, you know what I mean? It seems as though he was taking more of a Itachi or a Lelouch route, in the sense of, like, he was hiding his ultimate motives, even from his friends, because the scene, woo, I'm not gonna lie, I was mad. This is me reading the manga like, Eren, you son of a... The way he insulted Armin, but especially Mikasa. In fact, he whipped Armin's ass. Armin was like, yo fam, I'm the colossal titan, what now, mo? So that's one thing, you know, do what you do to Armin, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it's not good either way, because that's his best friend, whatever, but that's one thing. But Mikasa has time and time and time and time, to the infinity and beyond, again, held Eren down. It was always Eren this, Eren that. I go back to probably one of my favorite scenes throughout the whole series, when she jumped on Levi and was going to force the serum out of his hands and everything. for the way he had to lie and manipulate the situation and tell Mikasa, you're only doing this out of instinct, fam. It's only because you're an Ackerman. It's only because of your blood. You're obligated to do these things for me because of my, heritage and what I have inside of me. And basically shitted all over her. Said, I've hated you for a long time and everything. That's where I was like, fam, what happened to Eren, bro? Like, I actually genuinely was tricked into believing, nah, he's on some crazy shit. They're gonna have to kill this dude at some given point. Not knowing that, Isayama was just doing a really great job of disguising what Eren was up to. And I know, maybe call me a fool or whatever, like, oh, I never thought all along. Good for you. Good for you. I'm glad. But for me, just that scene alone, I was like, you disgusting pile of crap. You deserve whatever you get coming to you. And to see what that did for Mikasa, if you think about it, that kind of, even though it was a lie, or there may be some truth to it, the headaches and all of that stuff, but even though that was a lie, it did kind of morph Mikasa to develop on her own. When she left the scarf behind, when she was like, because that destroyed her. Imagine you look out for somebody, you love them, you would do anything for them, you would die for them. For them to stab you in the back like that, it hurts. It'll hurt like a motherfucker. So to see that it actually helped Mikasa to grow as a character, she's like, I'm going to do this not for Eren, but I'm going to do this for the people. And to finally kind of liberate her from that constant just loving of Eren and wanting to do everything for Eren, it was good for her character, but man, it was so nicely written of, this is messed up. This really made me look at Eren's character in a whole different light. Let's cut from Eren talk for a moment. Let's talk about Levi. Fam! Yo! Season 4 of the anime cannot come fast enough. Levi holding down, watching Zeke with all of his troops while things, while they deliberate and politic over there at, within the, Shiganshi district, whatever, while the corps talk about what's to do next, pixies and everything while they're delegating and whatnot. The master plan that Zeke pulled off. Like this, Attack on Titan, and I'm going to say this at the end again, but Attack on Titan is going to go down as a classic. This is going to go down as not just a personal favorite of mine. I highly believe that this will be one of those top 10 manga of all time type of series. Like, people are going to put it top 10, top 5, even though a lot of people like to snub their shoulder. At Shonen, the way Zeke maneuvered that, and then still Levi was like, fam, what are you doing? Because obviously Levi was watching him. Zeke poisoned the wine and the alcohol, and a lot of people drank that so that he put the, the spinal fluid in there so he could turn them into titans or whatever. When that starts going down and Zeke dips and Levi is left there with all these monsters, this man has tricked him in battle. This man has mocked his ancestry, and still, that was hands down one of the best moments. Again, so much of my catch up, I was like, oh, this is the best moment. Wait a minute, this is the best moment. Hold on, no, right there. That's the best moment. It's that damn good. This is a level, and I'm not just talking about hype. Hype aside, okay, yeah, it was really hype, whatever. Art, pretty damn awesome. The battle, when Levi finally goes in on the Beast Titan after killing all his comrades, damn, that shows his development, because you can see that Levi coming from the streets, yeah, he was hardened. Yeah, it didn't affect him like the average person when he would lose his people, but he lost so many people already. So losing a few more, what's that gonna do? Go back, remember Petra and everything? He's lost so many people. So to him, it's just more people gotta die, I guess. But when I get that motherfucker, it's a wrap. And then the battle when he attacks the Beast Titan, destroys him, cuts him up into pieces, rips him out. And there's a line in there where he says, all according to plan, huh? Was all according to plan, you sitting there and you're pissing shit and bawling your eyes out? I was like, oh, Levi Ackerman, you is the OG of this motherfucking shit, man. Oh. And then once again, because it was like a mental chess game. It's so Levi thinks he got the upper hand, having Zeke sit there reading. Zeke thinks he has the upper hand. Okay, I got the wine inside. I'm going to turn him into titans. Levi thinks he got the upper hand. Okay, I just slaughtered all my friends and I got this dude captured. Zeke blows his motherfucker to smithereens and seemingly Levi is dead. I don't buy it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't buy that he's completely dead. When I forgot who it was, Hanji, somebody was about to say that he's dead and they were interrupted or whatever. I think Levi might still be alive. I think he's still alive, so I'm not gonna completely say Levi's dead. I don't know if it was confirmed in an interview or something like that. If it was, okay, I'm wrong, but I want to say that Levi might still be alive. And I want to say, even despite where we're at right now in chapter 120, Levi is going to be able to hold up his bargain, or hold up his proclamation or proclaim that he told Erwin way before when he said, don't worry, I'm going to be the one to take the Beast Titan down. He even brought it up again, not that far off from where we're at right now. He said, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So I think that even in the end, Zeke is going to die at the hands of Levi. He has to. That, you know, it's kind of like when Naruto said, we're going to bring back Sasuke to the Leaf Village. Well, Levi's going to, we're going to kill this beast, motherfucker. I'm going to kill him. Don't worry. Like, it's going to happen. It's like, I have no doubt in my mind that Levi is still alive and it's going to kill Zeke before anything pops off. Even where we're at right now, the fact that Zeke has made a very, very big leap. But either way, that was still freaking epic, awesome. The mental chess games between all these characters, the politics. Yelena, I'm not going to lie. There's a couple characters that I really, really don't like. I really, really don't like Yelena. Like, bro, you're an extremist of the Jaegerists. Like, what? I mean, it was really, really insane how they infiltrated from the inside. Pixies, what? Is Pixies a Titan now because he drank the wine? A lot of these people were killed off, basically. But Yelena and that group that basically of Eldians that became extremists of the Jaeger brothers, the Jaegerists, whatever the heck you want to call them. Yelena, I hate that character. But there's another character that I hate even more. And I want to say that maybe a lot of you guys might agree with me. And I don't care, whatever. At the end of the day, Gabby. Like, Falco, alright, you know what I'm saying? Got turned into a really disgusting looking Titan, whatever. Cool beans, man. But Gabby, bro. Not only was she the one that killed Potato Girl Sasha, not only was she constantly with this bigotry and racism and oh my gosh, I can't stand her. But then, on top of all of it, she blew Eren's top off. I'm gonna lie. Like, I really, and that's the signs of some really awesome writing, when you can make me feel this emotionally invested to the point where I hate Gabby. That is like one of the top 5 characters that I hate the most in this whole story. 120 chapters in. Don't get me wrong, I get it. Let me break it down before people are like, oh, you hate her? She's just a confused... I get it. She's a confused little girl. She was taught her entire life to be racist, prejudiced, have bigotry, like all of that stuff. She was taught that these people are devils. But you lived with these people, and you even saw that despite living in Potato Girl's home that you killed, her parents still were like, you know, it's alright. It's cool. So you see that they're not devils. But yet you still want to be involved. Oh my gosh, when the dude that was serving Sasha found out that she's the one that killed Sasha and tried to go at her, and then Falco jumped in like, Falco, why? Don't make me hate you too, bro. Like, Gabby must go. And I ain't gonna lie, I haven't even felt this passionate about talking about a manga catch up in a really long time, like this passionate. But it's Isayama is... Whatever Hajime Isayama, the writer of this series, does after Attack on Titan, I am no doubt in my mind reading it. And I really hope it becomes a big success like Attack on Titan, because he writes characters, plot twists, and lore better than a large majority of mangaka. I don't give a rat's butt cheeks right now. Like, it is what it is. It's the truth. And let's jump into real quick Zeke and his backstory, finding out how he got the Beast Titan, who was basically a surrogate father. Like, you got to look at the difference between Zeke and Eren. And mind you, most of this is Grisha's fault regarding Zeke in particular. And now, you know, in the latest chapters, we're finding out a little bit more about how much Grisha really regretted things. But if you think about it, the mistakes that Grisha made with Zeke was only able to see the despair of his people. He didn't see all the political aspects. He didn't see everything else. He only saw one side of the spectrum. On top of that, he ran into the scientist that was completely jaded to the world and just wanted to throw a baseball around all day. He turned his family in. You know, the scientist helped him turn in his family, and that's how Grisha and Zeke's mom ended up, you know, going over the wall and all that stuff. So Grisha, the mistakes that Grisha made with Zeke is how he turned out this way. Obviously, clear as day, right? But you look at the flip side of it. Had Grisha not rushed things, because at the end of the day, Grisha might have never even started or continued and carried on with the Eldian thing. He had seen everything, the Founding Titan and all that for years, and kept it quiet up until the Colossal and Armored broke down the wall, and he was like, I got no choice. But you can see that there's resentment with Zeke. The fact that why you pushed me to play this Itachi-esque role in my life, and obviously he flipped on him or whatever, but he didn't do that with Eren. You found out the secret and you were like, nah, I really love my family. I'm gonna hold it down for a while. I'm not going to do anything. So you can see that Zeke is a product of bad parenting in a very bad society and a very bad environment, obviously. And I thought it was really awesome as well that we got the backstory of as to why the Beast Titan Zeke throws like baseballs with these boulders and shit like that, because his mentor was, you know, into that. That was really freaking awesome. Again, the small details sometimes can be the most fascinating things about a character and understanding a character's mindset and why they are the way they are. Like, I loved it. Like, he needed a surrogate father because his father was treating him more like a soldier than a son. And then when we get to the beheading of Eren, where Zeke catches Eren's head like a baseball, basically, very symbolic, everything. He caught it like a baseball, and they just reached it in time to be able to pull off their plan of them two touching, to be able to make catastrophe, essentially, use the Titans from the walls, all sorts of shit. And we see them in this Ymir world. We see the original Ymir, who she really was, that, well, it's like a husk of her, essentially. And it starts off with Zeke once again in this mental chess game. I love that Isayama does plot twists in terms of, like, characters hiding their motives and slowly letting things out, but still misleading. So, starts off, Zeke is in chains. He's like, oh, I can't move in this world, to find out if Eren's really riding for the euthanization of the Eldians. Once he finds out Eren is bullshitting, I lied, now you're in chains. Very freaking insane. But here's where everything is going to start changing. Obviously, Zeke is starting to show Eren like, yo, this was the past. Look at how our father really was. Look what he did to me. Look what he did to you. But he overlooked a lot of details. Now that he's getting to see everything from this world, from the Ymir world and whatnot, he's saying, wait a minute. So he did miss me. Wait a minute. He regretted things. He was trying to make up for the mistakes he made with Zeke. Even though he missed Zeke every day, he had the picture of his original family right next to him all the time. He would sleep and say, I'm so sorry. Man, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm even talking about it. I swear to God, like, that's how good this shit is. It just showed that a father made a mistake with his first family. You know, that was his first shot at having the family life, and he messed up. And he tried not to make the same mistake with a second family, and it was due to things out of his control, obviously, the Marley sending Reiner and Bertolt and Annie and all of them, which, by the way, what's going on with Annie? Like, I'm tired of seeing her crystallize and just Armin fetishing, whatever the heck, however you say it, fantasizing, basically, about Annie based on having Bertolt in him. Like, come on, fam, can we get some Annie? I mean, I guess there's something waiting in the wings for whatever's about to go down. Because, I mean, before we just finish this off with, you know, the regrets of Grisha and a man that kind of made a mistake with his first family and tried to make it up to the second one or whatever. The fight with the Cart Titan blowing up. The rematch with Armored Titan Reiner versus Eren. So much freaking greatness. Like, I can't stress enough that the Attack on Titan manga is, again, going to go down as a classic. I think the anime will go down as a classic anime, hands down, both of them. The manga does it justice in so many which ways. Granted, of course, you could always argue that the art sometimes isn't impeccable, but for the most part, I mean, even seeing the infiltration of the Cart Titan, seeing the bonds and shit like that, just, can, like, Gabby just slip off the side of the wall or something? I hate Gabby! And the inevitable rematch of Reiner and Eren. Notice if you go back when Eren first turned into a Titan, he got mollywopped by Reiner. Here we are now. He was giving him some work, bro, and that's that he was getting also attacked by the, what is it, the Jaw Titan or whatever. Like, he was getting jumped and still putting in work, which I'm like, hey, Armin, your Colossal Titan powers would come in handy, you know, maybe lure them over there and turn into that big old Titan, like, just saying. But that means that there's probably just more war waiting in the wings, depending on what happens here. Zeke could very well flip, because now he's starting to see the small details he missed out on, that, okay, my father made horrible mistakes, made me a soldier first, a son second. He tried to make up for it with Eren and them, but he didn't forget about me and my mom. He did regret what he did. He tried to learn from his mistakes. He learned years before of what was to come, but due to the mistakes he made, he tried to make up for it, and still it failed and everything. Like, this is a very powerful story. Attack on Titan, hands down. I know seinen series when I see them, and I don't care what anyone says, this is a more mature story. The war elements, the military elements, and I missed out on talking about so much because, again, in those 11 chapters, it was like just non-stop collusion, all sorts of shit. But oh yeah, and when the commander got his ass kicked and said, I fought a bear, like, that was great too. Like, there's just so many moments that I'm not going to be able to remember right now because I couldn't write every note down, but incredible ride. And moving forward with chapter 121 and beyond, I'm expecting Zeke to flip and not do what he was going to do, the euthanization, basically making it that Eldians can't have kids anymore. I think whatever Eren's motive is, once he starts realizing Grisha wasn't just some crazy, oh, I gotta save my people type of person. He was also a man. He was also a father. He was also a human being that made mistakes. And once Zeke realizes that little by little, despite having that surrogate father that led him to this goal and led him to this path and this ideology, I think maybe he might start thinking more like Eren, and then we'll see where Eren takes it and kind of uses the Founding Titan. Maybe he might release the Founding Titan from that world, use that power to release them, and maybe make it that the Eldians can't turn into Titans no more. I think, wouldn't that be easier than just making them not be able to have children, make it that they can't turn into Titans anymore, right? That sounds plausible for 121 and beyond, and just all around, I'm expecting even more. If this manga has a very, very high climax of an ending, this might be even a top 3 manga, and I don't care what anyone says. Like, this is a freaking great story. Kind of curious what you guys think about this though. Within the last 10 chapters or so, best moments, was it Eren flipping and how he did Mikasa? How do you feel about Gabby? What do you think about the battle that we've had with the Jaw Titan, Jawhammer versus Eren, and Reiner versus Eren? What do you think about Eren's secret motives? How do you think this is going to go down in the Ymir world with Zeke and Eren? Do you think that the memories of Grisha, and even Grisha screaming out, Zeke, and then saying, no, it couldn't have been that bearded man, what was that about? Like, are they crossing over into the past using these powers? Like, so many questions. I can't freaking wait. Your world thoughts and expectations for the future of Attack on Titan's manga. High quality. This will go down as a classic. I don't care. Great stuff. That's all I have for this one though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in.
Enjoy the next ride, but I was the best ride. But I hope you know that